Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live session at the Reactor. My name is Rav and I'm the program manager here at Reactor London. Before we get into the session, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We're all here to learn, so please be respectful, please be kind, ask a lot of good questions. The chat will be open throughout, and we do really encourage you to participate because this session is for you. So please do ask a lot of questions. So we have an exciting sessions today with Paul and Rene, and it's all about how to get ready for Copilot for M365. So with that, I'm now going to bring them up on the stage and let them take this away. Hi, Paul. Hi, Rene.
Hello.
The stage is yours.
Alrighty, good afternoon. Welcome to the session about Are You Copilot Ready? Before we go any further, we would like to welcome everyone and wish them a nice session.
Who are we?
Yeah, good question.
Good question. Well, I will kick off. My name is Paul Keizers. I've been a Microsoft MVP since 2017, and I'm focused on Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and Copilot. Let's go over to you, Rene.
Yeah, my name is Rene Vlieger. I work at Centric. I'm a 365 consultant, also an MVP, a fresh one, my first time. And I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. So I love to share knowledge with you, with organizations, with colleagues.
Great. Let's do the session introduction. Which authorized Gen AI solution does your organization use? What kind of sensitivity data is sent there? How are they supported and processed by the Gen AI system? What data is there within your data landscape and artificially generated? Where do they get to view automatic integrations, and who has access? Most organizations are unable or not properly to answer these questions. They have adopted Gen AI at enlightenment speed, but lack adequate safeguards. They operate largely in the dark, while a helicopter view of Gen AI data into your process and data flows is crucial to identify concrete risks, but also as a foundation for building robust data governance and security measures. In this session, we are going to tell you more about which global steps you must take so you can safely use Copilot for Microsoft 365.
AI won't take your job. Someone using AI will. This highlights the reality that AI is a tool, an incredible, powerful one that, when harnessed effectively, can enhance productivity, efficiency, and innovation. It's not the AI itself that poses a threat to jobs, but rather the disparity between those who leverage AI and those who don't. Embracing AI and integrating it into your skill set can keep you competitive and evolving in the job market.
How many Copilots are there? Well, there are a lot. There are more than 130 Copilots and counting, each tailored for specific tasks and industries. The possibilities are almost boundless. These AI companions are not just tools, they are partners in creativity, efficiency, and growth. In other words, they are your personal Copilot. As developers, you stand on the start of a new era where Copilots eliminate the path to unpredicted achievements. Embrace this journey and let your imagination soar with all those Copilots at your side. So, Rene, just to show you, we've got quite a few Copilots here. Which one is the one you love the most?
Yeah, I'm personally, I use Copilot from Microsoft 365. There's the most help and integration for me as a consultant. I give a lot of presentations, I follow a lot of meetings, and I can't attend every meeting. So yeah, Copilot can help me to summarize some of those meetings and give me a quick overview what I missed. And how about you, Paul?
Yeah, for me it's the same, and basically it all started for me with the M365, but I also see Azure AIs coming up more, and of course within LinkedIn I'm using it with the Sales Navigator. So I'm using it a little broader, but still not everything there is. So that's something that you need to know. And of course, as a developer, I also use the GitHub Copilot. So,
Okay.
but let's look at the comparison for Microsoft 365.
Yeah, you see a couple of Copilot versions over here, and in the left side you see the Copilot for personal use. It's a free AI tool for Windows, also available as a mobile app and a web tool. And the Copilot Pro is a step ahead. It's for Microsoft 365 family and personal subscribers, enhancing your capabilities in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And the tool I personally use very much is Copilot from Microsoft 365. It's for businesses, integrating with productivity, apps, and the company's Microsoft Graph. It's essential for users to understand their needs and choose the right Copilot version to maximize your productivity and creativity. When starting with Copilot, it's good to define personas and use cases, so the organization gets the most value out of the right Copilot version.
That
Sometimes
sounds
I
great.
see companies choose the wrong Copilot version. Why? And they did not talk with the business. They did not define personas. And yeah, that's a good starting point. Always have
Yeah,
a conversation with the business. What are your needs?
absolutely. Fully agree on that.
Great.
Well, build your own Copilot with Copilot Studio. So here we are going a little bit into the depth of the developing, still low code. Microsoft 365 Copilot Studio offers a range of features for developers to enhance their productivity and creativity. Here are some of these key capabilities. Voice integration. Developers can set up Copilot Studio to use voice commands, allowing for hands-free coding and navigating within the development environment. Well, my favorite, GitHub Copilot integration. Copilot Studio integrates with GitHub Copilot, providing developers with AI-powered code completions, suggestions, and features with Visual Studio Code. This can significantly speed up the coding process, and help with learning new coding patterns and languages. Then we've got topic management. Developers can manage topics, trigger phases, and conversation paths with Copilot Studio, which can be useful for creating more interactive and responsive applications. Then we've got unit test development, and this is something every developer should do. Copilot Studio can assist developers in creating unit tests using GitHub Copilot tools, providing a practical experience and improving code quality. Code feature development. The studio also helps in developing new code features with auto-completion suggestions from GitHub Copilot, managed and implemented within Visual Studio Code. Language services. Azure AI services for language can be used in conjunction with Copilot Studio to enhance the capabilities, such as providing more natural language understanding in applications. These features aim to streamline the development process, reduce repetitive tasks, and enable developers to focus on more complex and creative aspects of their work. And I've been playing around with this Copilot Studio, and it amazes me how fast you can build things with it. So it's really something to look for. But
yeah, I can use Copilot for all use cases, right? Or not, Paul?
no, I don't think so.
Why
Wrong.
not? Why not?
Well, what can you do to help to choose the right AI solution? Prepare the list of generative AI apps that should be blocked. Check with business users what kind of generative AI tools they are already using and check if they are safe for the organization. I have seen that a lot, that they just add tools that are not even safe for the organization, can do way too many things. And here it comes down to a big governance part of the Copilot. Note down, people or departments that are already using generative AI are interested or have suggestions. Contact those people. Will be very helpful for the future. Prepare an initial list of enterprise-ready generative AI tools that could be provided to the business. Decisions about which product should buy can be done later. Do initially calculate the possible cost of securing the generative AI tools. It will make your life easier in discussions areas about budgets. And I think the last one is really important as well. What do you think, Rene?
Yeah, it's one of the most important aspects. And the other one is, of course, talk with your stakeholders, talk with the business. How are you working? What do you want to use? And of course, you mentioned the word governance. It's a very hot topic these days.
Absolutely.
Everybody is using Copilot or other AI tools. It's all in the basic. Build a strong fundament and be sure to have a good security and compliance posture.
Absolutely, fully agree on that.
But today it's all about Copilot from Microsoft 365, and it's the main aspect of this presentation. It's your truly assistant here to help you supercharge your productivity and creativity. Generative AI tools can complement your work in fields such as research, technology, development, creative design, and much more. From a personal perspective, I use it a lot for my presentations, for my all the meetings I missed. But yeah, it's always good to make the right start, or not?
Yes, absolutely. I think starting off on the right foot is crucial. In the next slides, we will provide insights to help you begin your journey successfully. When we have a look at a lot of organizations that are using Microsoft 365, we can say that organizations are struggling with the basis hygiene. And when they want to use a tool as Copilot for Microsoft 365, there must be a solid fundament we can build on. And this is something we see a lot, Rene. Actually, almost every company, there are only a few that already have everything in place, and that's because they did this in the past when Delve was announced, and this goes back a long time ago, or not, Rene?
It sounds very old.
But actually, then it would have been correct to set it up already, because now it's more crucial because everybody wants the Copilot. Then it was Delve, which was not everyone asking for. So I think that's some organizations have it set up correctly, but there are still things they need to improve.
Yeah, probably like 95 from the 100 companies I visit, they have not a very solid basis. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
And like Paul said, it's good to have a good fundament, and there are some requirements before you can start with Copilot from Microsoft 365. Organizations must ensure they have a OneDrive for Business for file storage and syncing. Also, the new Outlook version for enhanced email management and transcription in Teams turned on for meeting content referencing. Additionally, enabling Microsoft Loop and Whiteboard is crucial for collaborative work. Users need a Microsoft Entra ID and Microsoft 365 apps installed, but always keep in mind, install the latest updates. Proper licensing is also a prerequisite. A Copilot is an add-on to existing Microsoft 365 plans like E3 or E5. With these requirements in place, Copilot for Microsoft 365 stands ready to unlock creativity, boost productivity, and elevate skills within the modern workplace.
Fully agree on that. I must say you don't, at least since a few weeks, you don't need only the new Outlook version. You can
True.
also use the classic one. But of course, we want to push the new Outlook version further because I think that's the way to go. But still, there are missing major features that you need in there, and they are not there yet.
Little baby steps.
Exactly.
But like you said, it's all about starting with good governance.
Yeah, absolutely. So we prepare a generative AI governance. We already have it on the slide here, but review the listed governance documents and use them as an inspiration. I think one thing that is really important is to look over how is your sharing set up within the SharePoint environment. Do people share everyone in the organization, for example? That kind of questions come along. And I think it's really important to have your IT managers and C-level with this and present it to the organization. And eventually also publish the governance to your organization on the internet if it's there.
Yeah, totally right. And governance is not all about technology, but also about processes and people. And that combination combines a good governance plan.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But how about adoption? What are things that have to be available in an adoption plan?
Absolutely.
I think something with secure leadership support. When we want backing up of a C-level executive for a champion generative AI initiative. So that's very difficult sensitive.
Yeah.
But also form a champions group. It's very important for adopting technology like Copilot from Microsoft 365. There are always people in an organization that are ahead of the rest of the companies, and you can help them use them to help the rest of an organization adopt new technology.
Yes, agree. There's always like this curve where you have the early adopters, the laggers, and the main majority who adopts the product, in this case, Copilot.
Yeah, true. It's also useful to have a central resource hub where you can place all the materials, working instructions, plans, templates, stuff like that. Are you also using that with your customers, Paul?
Yes, absolutely. I always use that. It's really my base to start off. So and I use it. I use the brand hub now, where you can also store your fonts and templates, etc. This is also a great location to store things like that.
Okay, thank you. And something with communication is also very handy with adoption. So a strong
Absolutely.
communication plan in place, it makes or breaks your total project. And also
Fully agree.
some online training sessions for the organization will help adopt new technology such as Copilot from Microsoft 365. So don't forget about adoption, people.
Absolutely agree.
But before we start with Microsoft 365 and Copilot in this point, what would be a good starting point? And then we hop over to the next slide.
Well, a good starting point would be the Microsoft 365 optimization assessment, which provides a roadmap for deploying Copilot for Microsoft 365, highlighting opportunities for data security and governance improvement. It also identifies the key use cases and metrics to enhance functional areas, offering insights for process improvement and KPI impact. This assessment is key for preparing your organization to leverage AI-powered productivity and creativity with Copilot for Microsoft 365. So the question is, why not use it?
Yeah.
This is something I see a lot as well, that people don't use this and they just start off. And then eventually they see this and then they said, why didn't I see this before? I don't know if you recognize this.
Recognize this. And when you have a lack of knowledge or other reasons, and this is a great starting point. And if you would ask us, hey, how to start? Yeah, we know, but if an organization doesn't have the people or the knowledge or other stuff, use this tool. It's like you
Absolutely.
stated, why not use it if it's there?
Exactly. I fully agree.
Hey, will my data be used for tuning or training? Oh, that's a good one. But Microsoft 365 Copilot is designed with privacy and security in mind. It does not use our data within the tenant for training purposes on Microsoft sites. So the system operates under strict compliance and governance to ensure that your data remains private and is not utilized for any training or development outside of your organization's tenant. So that's very useful information. There are a lot of discussions in the IT community. Hey, Microsoft is using our data and for training, but people, no.
And that's a big advantage compared to others, I guess, and especially for banks and other companies that are really using sensitive data and don't want to have some other company looking around. Then this is the place to be. So let's go to garbage inside and garbage outside. So we prepare, optimize your data, label content, rename with descriptive names and tags, files, consolidate multiple versions, and clean out redundant, outdated, and trivial content. So first step is verify existing data outside of your Microsoft 365 environment, on-premise shared drives and other platforms like Dropbox, Box. I've seen it all. Review the roadmap and plan for the storages. Will they be migrated to Microsoft 365, archived, or sunset? Do these storages contain any critical important data, and categorize existing storage in the context of possible migration to Microsoft 365? And I think this is a really key part with starting with Microsoft 365 in general, actually, but also with Copilot. Everything you throw in comes back out in a different color though, but it comes back out. I think this is really important to know.
Yeah, because there will be no value when you migrate your data to a cloud platform and you did not clean it up or foresee it with some kind of metadata or other stuff.
Exactly. And it will, what I've seen by several companies is that they just move their file share to SharePoint and then they edit Copilot, but they never know which document is the real version because Copilot doesn't care. It just searches the documents that you have been delivering. So if they are, if it's garbage, you will get garbage back. So this is something you need to know. We've got some quizzes. So one quiz, to be honest, and this is the QR code to get into the forms. And Raf, can you share the link in the as well, so people can use the link? I will hold it here for like 30 seconds and then move on, I guess, Rene.
Yeah, that's good. And that's a question from Corné van der Broek in the chat. Is adoption for Copilot different than regular adoption programs? What's your opinion about that, Paul?
I think it will be similar. It's only a different product, but I think the way you should set it up would be similar to introducing, for example, Teams in 2017 when it just was released. That's similar. You need to start with the same planning, same things in mind. And one thing that's really important as well is to set up a pilot group for it.
Yeah, and it depends a little bit on the maturity of an organization, I believe.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So, but a good question, Corné. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Now we're coming more on the part of your Rene.
Is that so? Okay, thank you. There are a couple of ways that you can use to start with rolling out Copilot for Microsoft 365. If you have the knowledge and the experience, you can build your own plan. But if you have a lack of knowledge, people, stuff like that, you can use the rollout approach from Microsoft. There's an option in your 365 tenant. It's a guided approach, and it can help you to make the necessary steps.
Absolutely.
So there's another question now. Why not use it if it's there?
Yeah, exactly.
But what can you do, Paul, to secure your environment and data?
Well, you could take a few steps. First of all, you could look at your data, what's in there, and then start with the basic permissions in SharePoint and Teams. But in the end, go to Purview and DLP, or to use DLP, for example, and sensitivity labels. So you can label your data and protect it. That are just a few things I think that are important to do. I guess you know way more.
Together we know all. Something like that. But Microsoft takes care of all of my security, right? No, totally wrong. There's a little bit of overlap. There's a shared responsibility. Microsoft 365 tenant security is a shared responsibility between Microsoft and the customer. Microsoft is responsible for the security of the cloud infrastructure, including the physical data centers, the network, and the hardware that runs the services. On the other hand, customers are responsible for securing their own data, managing the identities, and layer and configuring the tenant settings to comply with the organization security policies. So very important to keep that in mind. This collaborative approach ensures that while Microsoft provides a secure platform, customers have the controls they need to protect their information and meet their compliance requirements. So a little bit for Microsoft, a little bit for the organization side, and together, it will help to have a very strong fundament on security and compliance.
Absolutely, fully agree on that. The AI Act is significant legalization development that aims to regulate the use of artificial intelligence within the European Union. It is designed to ensure that AI systems are trustworthy and that their deployment respects the fundamental rights of the UA citizens. The Act categorizes AI applications according to the risk they pose, with high-risk applications being subject to stringent requirements and obligations to gain access to the EU market. Certain AI practices, such as social scoring and manipulative AI systems, are banned due to their unacceptable risk. The Act also establishes a governance framework to enforce the rules, including an AI office within the Commission and a scientific panel of independent experts. So, Rene, is this already fully in place?
No, it's still under development, and somewhere the coming months, this will be our new AI law. But
Okay.
is it useful for organizations that there will be some kind of law on AI? What's your personal opinion, Paul?
Yeah, I think it's really useful to have a law on AI, because some things you can use AI for the good and for the bad, and I think there a law can prohibit that a bit. If you want to do bad things, you still can. Only it's not fully corruptive to the law. I think that's the difference only.
True.
So,
multi-factor authentication. Yeah, who does not know MFA? Yeah, MFA is a crucial first line of defense against unauthorized access to systems and data. By requiring 2 or more verification methods, such as something you know, can be a password, something you have, like a security token, and something you are, biometric. MFA significantly enhances your security. It mitigates risk associated with compromised passwords, one of the most common vulnerabilities exploited by attackers. Despite its importance, many organizations still don't implement MFA or fail to use it correctly. This oversight often stems from a lack of awareness, perceived complexity, or concerns about user convenience. As a result, these organizations remain vulnerable to cyber attacks that could have been prevented with some kind of proper MFA implementation. And I see a lot of organizations struggling with MFA implementation. And that's a little bit strange, because Microsoft gives us all the ingredients and to help us implement it. There are some kind of templates you can implement it with a few mouse clicks.
absolutely, I fully agree on that.
And some time ago, a few weeks ago, Microsoft implemented 2 conditional access policies for organizations that had not MFA in place. So on the side of Microsoft as a cloud provider, they also see customers struggling, and that's, I believe, the reason why they implement MFA for organizations.
Yeah, I think if you don't use MFA, you are really vulnerable. Especially, I know that when MFA was introduced in the beginning, and I was going through the logs, I saw a lot of tries to unlock my account, but luckily I had MFA on, and they all were blocked. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah. Is there maybe one kind of MFA we would not advise to use?
I wouldn't advise the phone one, but I don't know about you.
No, I wouldn't use SMS anymore. It's not very safe,
Yeah.
but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's a side of story, but I know that some people were calling when you call or dial and you don't push the pound sign or something, or they were simulating the pound sign, and that's the way they got in. Something like that it was, but I don't know how it is now. I know there was something with it, but the exact vulnerability, I don't know because it's solved. It doesn't matter to me anymore.
No, true. It's something for another session, and not for this session. But don't use voice or SMS.
Exactly. So Microsoft SharePoint, my favorite. Perform periodic reviews of oversharing reports, restrict access appropriate, perform periodic reviews of inactive sites and take action, perform periodic reviews of change history reports to discover when oversharing occurs. And here we have a new tool in place which you can add to your SharePoint environment called SAM, and this will do it for you if you configure it. But one thing we see is a lot, or at least what I see, especially with young organizations that just started with Microsoft 365, is that they have the most permissive anyone link available. Do you see that as well?
Not very often, I must say. The most of the organizations I visit, they have the new and existing guest option. So, from my perspective, that's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's another one, Rene, that's really important to know. Do you know it?
I think so, but maybe hey, you can help me.
Yes.
There are some few options available, and I also have a question for you. You mentioned SAM. Do you need a license for that?
Yes, you need a separate license for that.
Okay, great.
Yes, yes. But what I wanted to point out is if you share with everyone in the organization, yeah, then everybody in the organization, inclusive Copilot, can get your data. So you think maybe I share it with everyone in the organization and they don't see the link, but Copilot can read the link. So they will, Copilot will use your data and show it to others. So that's something you must keep in mind. And another thing which I really like is the new one, and it's just about to release, is when you share that you set up expiration date on your files you share. I don't know if you already seen that, Rene, but that's one that's really great.
Yeah, and most of the time I also give only people few rights, standard.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Only
also something you can set up in the admin center.
Yeah, governed access to Copilot with Microsoft Entra ID. That's something conditional access we talked about a few minutes ago. Governing access to Copilot with Microsoft Entra enhances your security of your Microsoft 365 tenants by ensuring that only authorized users can utilize Copilot capabilities. Microsoft Entra, formerly known as Azure AD, provides a robust identity and access management, allowing administrators to control who can access Copilot and under what conditions. Conditional access policies in Microsoft Entra are pivotal in securing your environment. These policies evaluate signals such as user identity, device help, location, and applications, being accessed to determine if access should be granted, restricted, or blocked. Setting up conditional access, organizations can enforce MFA, require compliant devices, and apply access controls based on real-time risk assessments, thereby reducing the likelihood of unauthorized access and enhancing overall security. But Paul, when we talk about the customers we visit, do they
Yeah.
have the conditional access layer in place?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. And sometimes I see a traveling of a user identity that works in Amsterdam, and half hour later he works in Tokyo. Now that's something like
That's
impossible
strange.
travel, and such activities should be blocked, or
Yeah.
the account should be MFA, or that user must give a new password, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
This
I
is a
think
very
that's really
powerful
important.
tool, conditional access. I would not implement all of those conditional access policies together, but when you get more mature as an organization and you use more services, you can implement those conditional access policies step by step.
Yes, and I think it's really something I've seen also is that they use different VPN, and then they are in Tokyo, but they're still using the VPN.
Yep.
So they still seem to be in Amsterdam, for example. That's also something. It's all connected, so you have to check out how you will set it up. If you are using VPN from Azure, for example, that would be also an option.
True, true. But it is your first line of defense, conditional access.
Absolutely. So audit logging. Audit logging in your Microsoft 365 tenant is a vital tool for monitoring and maintaining security. You can use the audit logs to review actions taken by users in your organization, such as changes to Copilot settings and policies, and the adoption of a removal of seats from Copilot Business subscription. The audit log lists events related to your Copilot Business subscription for the last 180 days, providing a comprehensive overview of user activities and helping ensure compliance and accountability. Well, we just talked about this already a bit, but I think it's really good to review those logs and not only know they are there.
True, and everything is interacting with your other service. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's a total
Yeah,
picture.
absolutely. Fully agree on that.
And now we're going to information protection. I love this purview service. Information protection secures your data when using Copilot from Microsoft 365. It's using classification, labeling, protection mechanisms. It enables businesses to classify sensitive information, apply handling labels, and enforce policies to prevent unauthorized access. This ensures confidentiality, compliance, and reduce risk of data breaches. Defining specific use cases with the business enhances the effectiveness of purview. This approach helps stakeholders understand the importance of information protection by illustrating real-world scenarios, such as handling customer information and financial records. It demonstrates how information protection safeguards critical assets, ensuring compliance and mitigate risks, fostering better adoption and integration of security practices across the organization. But keep in mind, a lot depends on the maturity level of an organization, and especially have the conversation with your business, with your stakeholders, do a proof of concept, get those information and use it in your approach. It will help by the adopting of such kind of technology.
Yeah, fully agree on that.
And often forgotten.
Yeah,
Yeah, the most
yeah,
IT people, do it always from a technical perspective, but it must be from a business perspective.
yes. And I think you haven't mentioned it, but I think it's also a combination of legal, which should be involved in here, and of course the stakeholders of the organization, because you don't want to fully block everything, but make it seamless for users to use it still.
Yeah, true. And I always start with 3 or 4 labels. Why? It's not very handy to implement 10 labels right away. And the end user will have no overview and have questions. Why? Which label do I have to use?
Exactly. Yeah.
Start small.
That's true. That's true.
Data loss prevention. Yo.
Yeah. Also purview. So I let you go.
Do your thing. It's a little bit similar to information protection. Only the next step after information protection. And like it's
Yes.
stated here on the slide, it protects sensitive information from being shared beyond its intended audience and reduce the risk of oversharing. So data loss prevention will help you to secure your data and that it stays in your organization.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that is maybe the best description we can use for this. This is not a technical session, but an overview session.
Yeah, absolutely. So step 1 is to identify sensitivity data. So automatically detect sensitivity information such as financial data, personal identifiable information, and intellectual property within the content users interact with through Copilot. The second step would be apply protection policy and force policies to restrict the sharing or transmission of sensitivity data based on predefined rules, ensuring compliance with organizational and regulatory requirements. And step 3, monitor data activity, track and log activities involving sensitivity information, providing visibility into how data is being accessed and shared, and enable quick and responsive to potential breaches. Step 4, notify and educate your users in real time when they attempt actions that violate data protection policy, foster and culture of security awareness within the organization. By leveraging Microsoft Purview DLP, organizations can ensure that their sensitivity data remains secure and compliant, even as employees use advanced tools like Copilot to enhance productivity. This comprehensive approach to data protection helps mitigate risk and safeguard critical information from unauthorized access or accidental leakage. And this is something I see as well, Rene, that they are trying to send over some credit card information, for example, or some personal information like passports. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I see it at every customer I visit. Yeah, very information that is not suited to be shared outside the organization, and yeah, it has not to be. It can be stopped. There are tools that can help you, but there are also some best practices to start with data loss prevention. And you cannot implement data loss prevention right away. And for all services, also here, start small. Start with DLP for your teams, chat and messages and stuff like that, and then other Microsoft 365 services. And when you have that in place and that your organization is more mature and also the end user, implement DLP for your devices. So there are some logical steps you can take, and it all depends again on the maturity of your end users and the organization.
Fully agree.
Yeah. And see what is happening in your tenant. There are a lot of log files and other files you can see, and you can see all the information what is happening in your tenant. Why not use it? Use it to gain knowledge about how your organization works.
It will give you great insights. That's absolutely true.
And communication compliance is another tool. It can help you to get more safe using tools like Copilot from Microsoft 365. And communication compliance ensures that all communications, including those assisted by Copilot from Microsoft 365, adhere to internal policies and regulatory requirements. It monitors interactions, detects improper content, protects sensitive information, and by providing tools for continuous monitoring, automated workflows, and end user education. It helps all to maintain professional and compliant communication, mitigating risk and ensuring that you're compliant with your law. And all the tools and ingredients are there for a very good pizza, but use them.
Absolutely. Retention policies. I think this is equal important. How long do you want to keep your data? I shared a few weeks ago a video about the SharePoint versioning, where you can throw away your versions to keep your storage a bit smaller. But it doesn't work when you have your data locked by the retention policy. So then you cannot throw away versions. But that's a little bit sidestep. But I think it's really important to have those place retention policies, especially with GDPR. You may only have data for so long. I see a lot of companies struggle with this. What's your opinion, Rene?
Most organizations that I come don't have the retention policies in place, but they don't have information protection or DLP in place, or they have them in place but not configured on the right way or implemented a few years ago. And we're working with cloud technology, so there are a lot of changes on Microsoft side. And as an organization, you have to have a focus on all those things that are changing, also on the compliance stack.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot. I keep an eye open for the message center, for example, and I see almost like 30 to 50 updates on a weekly base. So it's going so fast.
True, and also Microsoft sees that companies want to use Copilot from Microsoft 365 and see that their organizations don't have information protection or communication compliance in place. So they implemented the AI Hub. It's currently in preview to help organizations with a few mouse clicks to implement those policies.
Yeah. You played around with that, huh?
Yeah, I played around a little bit, and I also had some, not so pleasant.
Yeah. I heard that you had some labels that were set, and then you removed the labels, but it was still there, or something like that.
Yeah, my expectation was when I delete all those policies that were in place, and if I delete them, the AI Hub would see that and give me again some new advice. Hey, Rene, you deleted all your policies. Please implement that. But
yeah,
there is some maturity steps that can be taken. So
yeah,
that
right.
definitely will be in place when it goes live.
Absolutely.
I believe this. We want to share some key takeaways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can go to the next slide.
Yes. I think I need to click through it because
true, but everybody can read the slide, but watch it, read it, use it for your own journey when starting with AI or Copilot. These are some very basic guidelines you can use then to in your journey.
Absolutely. I think it's really important to use these.
And my personal one would be beware of biases and protect your information. How about your personal one, Paul?
I think I'm always fact checking.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Do not.
I'm more from a security and compliance starting point, but yeah, that's a good one also.
I think that's something we see a lot that still is happening. That they don't. They just pick up the story and they just ask a Copilot or another AI tool. It doesn't matter, and they just copy and paste it, and that's the truth. But it's sometimes it's just like some draft that's someone placed somewhere. And it's not yet even compliant. So always fact check.
Yeah, of course. And again, see it as your personal co-pilot. It can help you, but it would not replace you. You have to have knowledge about the topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
True. Then we go to the last slide, and then we would share the quick the check from the quiz.
Yes.
And some other tips from us when you are going to start with AI or Copilot. Download apps only from verified or trusted developers. Always look for the lock symbol when you visit a website. Only visit websites that start with HTTPS. Never ever download games, apps, or other files from unknown or untrusted sources in the URL. And always keep your devices and apps up to date. So, Paul, how about those quiz checks?
Yes, Raf, can you share the checks?
The responses.
So we've got quite some responses.
But are all the answers correct? That's the question.
That's the main question.
Yeah, enlightening us, Paul.
Well, I see. I'm looking at the same results from the screen share, so I have to look at as well. But for example, by what language does Microsoft Copilot support? It supports multiple languages, not only English or Spanish. It supports multiple. Well, can developers extend the capabilities of Microsoft 365? Everybody was right on that, so that's easy. And can developers create custom web parts for Copilot in Microsoft 365? And here we see that there are a few no's, but yes, you can. So these were just 3 questions we used. So it's just to give you a little insight.
And with that,
we want to thank you.
We come to the end of our presentation, and hopefully it gave you guys some insights how to start with Copilot for Microsoft 365. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat.
Yeah. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. And I believe we're within the hour. So
yes,
good time management from our side.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Paul and Rene, for this very insightful session. We don't have any more questions in the chat, but if anyone has any questions, please feel free to post them now, because we're almost out of time, but hopefully we can answer one question or two. I think you answered Corne's question before. Is adoption for Copilot different than regular adoption program?
Yes.
Well,
it's not different. So it's basically the same.
Yeah.
But since there are
on the maturity of an organization, so yeah, that's a good starting point.
Well, since there are no questions, I think we can now close the session. But thank you very much, both of you, for this, giving your time for this session.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see you back again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.